Hello everyone and welcome to Metagame Mastery, where it's not just about what the card does, but how it impacts the game. Where the Spark preview season is starting to wrap up, and we finally get to see Amonkhet's God Eternals revealed. If you enjoy this content, click that like button and make sure you're subscribed so you get access to all our latest videos. Without further ado, big time, go time. Let's go. First up, we have a Planeswalker deck. Planeswalker. He's Gideon, the Oathsworn. He's 6 CMC, 4 colorless, and 2 white for a legendary Planeswalker with a starting loyalty of 4. His static ability is whenever you attack with 2 or more non-Gideon creatures, put a +1/+1 counter on each of those creatures. He also has a +2 ability. Until end of turn, he becomes a 5/5 white soldier creature that's still a Planeswalker. Prevents all damage that would be dealt to him this turn. And he has a -9 ability. Exile Gideon and each creature your opponents control. So this is obviously not going to see any standard play, but he will see play in Commander, specifically in Vegeta the Lion decks. He's going to fit right in. So here we have another card that's exclusive to the Planeswalker deck. It's Gideon's Company. 4 CMC, 3 colorless, and a white for a 3/3 human soldier. Whenever you gain life, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Gideon's Company. You can also pay 3 colorless and a white to put a loyalty counter on target Gideon Planeswalker. So this is a card that is basically a more powerful Ajani's Pridemate. Not the same economy for cost, but will still see play in EDH decks like Eiley and Darien, King of Keldor. And here we have possibly the most exciting preview of the day. It's Spark Double, 4 CMC, 3 colorless, and a blue for a 0/0 creature illusion. You may have it enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature or planeswalker you control, except it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it if it's a creature. It enters with an additional loyalty counter on it if it's a planeswalker, and it isn't legendary if that permanent is legendary. Wow, this card is sick. I don't know how much play this will see in Standard, but it'll be great fun in Limited. And in Commander, this has potential to get so abused. I love this card. It's nuts. Can't wait to grab up a copy. Tamio, Collector of Tales, is 4 CMC, 2 colorless, a green, and a blue for a legendary planeswalker with a starting loyalty of 5. Her static ability is spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause you to discard cards or sacrifice permanents. That's good because there's a lot of edict effects in this format. Her +1 ability is choose a non-land card name, then reveal the top 4 cards to your library. Put all cards with the chosen name from among them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. And her -3 ability is return target card from your graveyard to your hand. So I like Tamio a lot. She protects you from edict effects. She helps you maintain your hand. She gets you potential card advantage, especially if you're doing any sort of scrying, surveilling, etc. And on top of that, she can act as multiple use Eternal Witness. I like her a lot. Finale of Promise is X and 2 red sorcery. You may cast up to 1 target instant card and or up to 1 target sorcery card from your graveyard, each with converted mana cost X or less without paying their mana costs. If a card cast this way would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. If X is 10 or more, copy each of those spells twice. You may choose new targets for the copies. This card's great. This card's so good. Just as a straightforward practical application, you're getting 2 spells for 1 card. So that in and of itself, it's generating card advantage. The fact that you could use both an instant and a sorcery from your graveyard. And then if you dump 10 mana into it, you're effectively casting 6 spells off of 1 card. This card is outstanding. There's going to be so many combos and shenanigans you could do with this, including in Commander. Mizzix is going to love this. Ramos, the Dragon Engine, is going to love this. This card is nuts. Enter the God Eternals is 5 CMC, 2 colorless, 2 blue, and a black for a sorcery. It deals 4 damage to target creature, and you gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. Target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard, and you get to amass 4. So that's 4 different effects, all with a numeral 4 involved. Not a coincidence. In limited, this thing's outstanding. You've got removal, life gain, some mill, and you're getting a 4/4 on the board for only 5 mana. That's a whole lot of stuff going on there for its mana cost. Absolutely awesome. I don't know that it'll see play outside of this. It really depends on whether or not the amass deck becomes a thing in standard, but this card definitely has potential. In EDH, I feel like it doesn't do enough to warrant a card slot. Maybe if you're really in a deep mill strategy, this could be a combination, mill and removal. But outside of that, I think this is a little too weak for Commander. God Eternal Kefnet is 4 CMC, 2 colorless, and 2 blue for a 4/5 legendary zombie god with flying. You may reveal the first card you draw each turn as you draw it. Whenever you reveal an instant or sorcery card this way, copy that card and you may cast the copy. That copy costs 2 less to cast. Whenever it dies, or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it onto its owner's library, 3rd from the top. So it looks like the new thing with God cards is instead of them being indestructible, they're going to go 3rd from the top. Very interesting in the fact that they're no longer scared of being exiled. Let's talk about this card in Limited. In Limited, it's sick. It's obscene. It's gross. Just the fact that you're getting a 4/5 flyer for 4 mana with potential upside is incredible. And then that ability is just so abusable, giving you sort of a pseudo miracle effect that you could trigger on your opponent's turn. You could bypass sorcery speed with cards like Opt. This card's absolutely nuts. It's going to see a lot of play, and it's going to be a darling in control decks. God Eternal Ronas is 5 CMC, 3 colorless, and 2 green for a 5/5 legendary zombie god with Death Touch. When he enters the battlefield, double the power of each other creature you control until end of turn. These creatures gain vigilance until end of turn. When he dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put him into his owner's library, 3rd from the top. So that's a huge swing. I really wish he granted Trample. That said, I imagine he's going to play well with the Boar God that we looked at the other day, or in Xenagos God of Revels decks. God Eternal Batu is 5 CMC, 3 colorless, and 2 black for a 5/6 legendary zombie god with menace. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice any number of other permanents, then draw that many cards. When he dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put him into his owner's library, 3rd from the top. So if Aristocrat strategy ever becomes a thing in Standard, this is going to be an absolute all-star. That said, in Limited, he's a beast, just getting a 5/6 menace 4/5 with that additional survivability of going back into your deck if anything happens to him. But he's really going to shine in Commander in decks like Marin of the Clan Neltoth. Well, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this content, click that subscribe button so you get access to all our latest videos. This has been Metagame Mastery. Peace!